It's G2 struggling in the mid-season, all about Sven. We'll see if that's the case once again. Caitlyn banned away. Interesting choice. The Twitch was the major factor there, but Tahm Kench also taken away, Thresh as well. So it looks like G2, without the Tahm Kench, do not want to play into that matchup.
And the problem is for Mysterious Monkeys, or at least the reason you might ban the Caitlyn, the lane dominance that Caitlyn can bring is difficult to deal with. Then you put it in the hands of Sven and Mithy and you go, okay, maybe we're not going to get the same kind of bottom lane advantage
and
that we
to be
did
fair, when Ivern was meta, we saw the same thing, where it was late game, put shields on Sven, Sven kills everybody. But Zach now banned out. G2 have to ponder what they want to take away. Do they ban out the Galio? Do they expect Mysterious Monkeys to play it? It was not the priority pick in the past. And Mysterious Monkeys, one of the first times we've seen them on blue side in a number of games. NIP, they were pretty much all about red. And
I think that reduces some of the win conditions that Mysterious Monkeys would normally bring to the table through Kikis as a split pusher. If you take the Galio here, you could put it on CosQ. But another champion that it wasn't banned out, this Rek'Sai comes through. Now, does that raise the priority here, looking at the AD carry pool as well, towards the Ashe, the Kalista that we saw in the last game? Because I mean, Sven's such a competent Kalista player as well as that Twitch.
Definitely an option here. No pressure to take your jungler, although G2 not wanting to leave it till the second ban phase, risk having it taken away. It looks like it will be the Kha'Zix once again for Trick. Or the Gragas instead. All right, interesting swap up. That's why we don't talk about hovers. But I feel like we're still going to see a Kha'Zix here pretty early on.
And again, they're utilizing the same strategy that Mysterious Monkeys did in the first draft, where you pick the Gragas here, it could go top, could go into the jungle, and you basically force Kikis to pick something that is a safe pick now. We may see him go to the Rumble. Not necessarily that side pusher that we have seen time and time again out of him, but when you look at strong picks that are blind pickable, Renekton may be the only other one that I would be confident in picking.
All right, interesting as well. A lot of range supports up and available, but melee supports have kind of been the flavor of the month here on patch 7.12. But Braum going to be locked in. Incredible late game team fighting power. Definitely good against Twitch had they opted to select it. But not going to be the case here. Just using it up against the Ashe. And now it's going to be the Xayah coming in as well for Yuki without the Rakan pairing. Still putting priority on this pick.
Yeah, this is a horrible duo to play up against if you've got a neutral bottom lane. As you said, G2 can still pick a lot of things around the bottom lane when it comes to playing a disengaged style. But between Xayah and Braum, that's double stuns locking in that bottom lane. Lulu would help Ashe kind of just sit back here, protect the Ashe. You're not realistically looking to be close enough that a Braum and a Xayah can catch you out all that often. And this is one of the limitations of showing both of your bottom lane champions right now, is that Mysterious Monkeys have a very all-in setup that is very strong, but now G2 just go, okay, we'll back away. We don't really want to play aggressive anyway.
And definitely the case. You can see LeBlanc banned away from CosQ. There were some question marks from the desk as to how well he played his role in fights, but it looks like G2 without the Galio, not quite as comfortable giving that up. But Galio's still on the table. Fiora going to be banned away, and surprisingly, I was completely wrong. I thought the Kha'Zix would be a bigger priority for G2, but it looks like they're more than willing to give it up to risk having it banned away from Mysterious Monkeys. The question is, are Mysterious Monkeys even going to bother to ban it out?
I think a lot of that is because if you end up having supports on the chopping block here, you risk Yuki and Dreams getting a lead again in the bottom lane through this Xayah, through this Braum. The Kha'Zix itself isn't necessarily a big problem. Rek'Sai can, to some extent, duel, or at least survive a duel in the early game against a Kha'Zix. That actually is a ban expiring from G2. They did not get a ban in time. Sometimes teams will choose to do that if they want to leave a lot up and available, but I feel like you could have banned the Cassiopeia.
And we will get confirmation momentarily as to whether or not that was intentional. However, Syndra has now been taken off the board. Players waiting. Looks like ref has been communicated to. We'll keep you guys updated as we move forward. Looks like it may have been an issue, but Champions Select continuing.
Yep.
So Orianna is the hover over here. Safe mid lane pick, most assuredly, and one that Perkz is definitely known for.
Now, we haven't seen either of these teams go towards the Corki. We were talking a little bit about G2 plus the meta. Now, Orianna is a fine pick. Corki is also a fine pick, somewhat into Orianna. It's still, Orianna will have teamfight presence in the late game. Corki will kind of scale up against it and would give Mysterious Monkeys some sense of that 1-3-1 setup, at least bringing the Corki across to try and siege from that side lane. Likely, the Cassiopeia is another one. It's CosQ, right? So it's
we'll find
Cassiopeia
out.
and Katarina.
Not one that he generally likes to play into the Orianna. The Syndra taken off the board pretty much tells me Mysterious Monkeys may not want to play it, but been wrong about a lot this big ban stress. Definitely possible. Kikis opts for the Camille again into the top lane, this time risking the pick blind. Maybe comfortable into the Gragas matchup, not worried about what remains on the table, but it is going to be the CosQ Taliyah coming out, a champion he's only played once, to very, very little success.
And that's a roaming matchup once again when you look at what CosQ wants to do. With the Fiora band away, Mysterious Monkey said, okay, we don't want to take a skill matchup here that can outscale the Camille. We don't want somebody that, if you give a kill, will be able to dominate a Camille the later the game goes. So it's Renekton once again up into Camille. Both of these teams feeling confident in either side of the matchup here. So interested to see how Kikis will be able to do this time. Will Amazing be able to get that early? Because Trick doesn't necessarily have the same early game presence on this Gragas than he did on the Kha'Zix in the last game.
This will be the final draft in the end. Both teams debating.
I thought you were saying in this series. I was like, wow, you're counting,
no.
Mysterious
Final
Monkeys
draft.
out.
It's like unconfirmed issue in pick ban, but G2 have accepted the draft and have continued forward. So maybe more context in the future, perhaps not. Either way, the team has decided this is what they want to play. They are not worried about giving up that ban, and that means both lineups have now been locked in. Looks like we will continue forward.
G2 with a well-rounded composition. You got early game strength for Expect up in that top lane, mid-game insurance out of perks in the middle lane on this Orianna, engage potential that comes through, whereas Mysterious Monkeys, higher mobility composition. Taliyah, Camille can cross lots of distance, so can the Rek'Sai. Then you've got Xayah and Braum to start locking people down in team fights, dealing big damage. So this could be a very explosive game. Some of these skirmishes past that 10-minute mark should be real fun to watch.
Definitely the case. We talked a little bit about sacrificing the bottom lane in the past for G2, giving them something that can be powerful in the late game, but giving up something early. Well, Ashe and Lulu are not champions that give up the laning phase. These are champions who dominate. We have to keep our eyes on the bottom lane as we get ready for game 2. But every lane, except for mid lane, set to be explosive. Game 2, ladies and gentlemen, one more win for G2 so they can pick it up. Or Mysterious Monkeys may look to fight back. To take it to a game 3 would be a massive upset here.
There's this Sven. Doran's Blade says, okay, it got nerfed, it's not flavor of the month anymore. Perks, it's mid lane we have to watch because CosQ instantly fires out that Q at him.
Guys, that is Taliyah. That is the power of the worked ground, the power of just throwing out so much damage. But Perks is just going to back off, just go back. So nothing gained from CosQ in the worked ground could count against him. So potentially at the end of the day, a small advantage for Perks. And now we keep our eyes on where the jungle setup is going to happen.
The only thing that Mysterious Monkeys really gain from that, having the ward on the Raptors allows CosQ to go in and maybe start interrupting here. That's one thing Taliyah can be very good as, is as the Raptors drop very low health, you fire out that threaded volley, you can maybe even kill a couple of Raptors. Seen it happen once or twice, and it's really frustrating for Trick, because you like don't get level 2.
Can be a big advantage, and of course, the beauty of that ward is that if they do not see him start Raptors, they can assume that he started on the bottom side. And it looks like that will be the case this time around. Maybe not the ideal jungle route, but does offer an element of unpredictability here.
And you can see Mysterious Monkeys now, they're going to put 3 people, just like G2 did in the last game, to help out Amazing on this early game clear. Rek'Sai has decent clear as it is, but of course the Q can kind of cut down a lot of those Raptors early on. Then you get that red buff very low. Amazing just comes in, takes it away. Suddenly you gain maybe 10 to 15 seconds on an early gank path. Maybe we see Amazing go to the top side and look to snowball. Or maybe we see an invade. There was a ward already out. Amazing, they have to know that Gragas started on blue buff.
Maybe expecting a red buff start here, but adjusting his pathing. Wolf Camp is currently the focus for Trick. Now they know exactly where Trick is, seeing that he started the blue buff. Will not at the end of the day be counter jungling, but it will be a trade of information in the favor of Mysterious Monkeys.
And now what that means is realistically, Kikis has that indicator the top side. He has to be careful in about 30 seconds time that Gragas can be there. CosQ's just going to go for it anyway. Doesn't even care that he didn't get the initial ward. He's going to try and get that threaded volley, but luckily Trick plays around it, drags everything so that the big Raptor is the one blocking the Q. means there's no opportunity. But Amazing now has been spotted as well on that ward bot side.
And that means Trick is free to pressure out the mid lane. CosQ, that's not the push you want to be right next to. Flash to safety in the early game. Nice start coming in for Trick, and that's bad news for CosQ.
And not only that, CosQ now is having to play those mind games with Trick, because normally that Gragas flashes on you, and that's exactly why CosQ has to flash. But Trick just goes, okay, I'm just going to get flash and I'll come back around in a couple of minutes' time. You can see CosQ having to heavily play on towards the bottom side of that lane, just because he knows Trick is on the top side.
And Expected looks like a little more comfortable in the matchup this time around. And that means that he did not lose out on that level 1 trade to Kikis, and it means that he is playing much better this time around. Dream's getting pretty aggressive. Blocked up a little bit there by the creep, but Breakable will keep him nice and healthy already. Much more aggressive in the early laning phase from both teams.
Yeah, Yuki and Dreams trying to get some of that push potential off. Of course, Ashe plus Lulu will be able to exert quite a lot of pressure themselves. So we have to watch how the ebb and flow of this bottom lane goes. If Sven and Mithy push too far up, we talked about how there's no kill pressure maybe in the lane from just Desire and a Braum, but you bring a Rek'Sai into that equation, everything changes. Speaking of Rek'Sai, both junglers, top side for the 2 versus 2.
Kikis in trouble. Hookshot wall dive does get the double stun. Amazing on the way in. Kikis now backing off, waiting for the cooldown, looking for the precision protocol. Expect backing up, he can get so much healing here, but it's not going to be enough. That's first blood for Amazing. Now looking for the knockup onto Trick. Kikis, is he ready? Where's the hookshot? Where's the wall dive? Not going to matter. Trick backing out.
Yeah, Trick and Expect not really having just enough damage to take Kikis down in that exchange. You saw Kikis jump to the wall, try and avoid some of what G2 were trying to bring up to the top side. Bought enough time for Amazing to get the flash knockup. Kikis ends up getting an assist on this one. And once again, Mysterious Monkey is trying to play through Kikis in this top lane.
Outplaying the fight overall, and despite getting stunned up, still able to attach the wall, still able to get the double stun here. So well played by Kikis in the end.
Yeah, Kikis, as you see, into a warded brush makes it very difficult. Dodges out the rest of this exchange out of Expect, and Mysterious Monkeys, it's an easy call to go onto the Renekton at this point. Renekton's used everything. Trick is just a lowly Gragas early on with no ultimate. Has flash, but Body Slam already been used, means there's nothing more for him to do in that team fight.
Just does not provide the sustained DPS of the Rek'Sai. Can't do much there in the end. But CosQ has to respect the Orianna here. Perkz can just continue to move forward. Trick is on the way. There's no flash there, but the heal being used for movement speed. Perkz ghosting up. CosQ, he's putting himself into the tower. Now he's going to get taken down. Amazing on the way back in, but that's the kill back for G2.
And that's all from that flash not being available from CosQ earlier on. This time, Trick revisits.
Sven having to flash to safety. Getting a little aggressive on the back half there, but once again, we have to say it again, so much more explosive here in the early game.
And this is one difficulty we've seen CosQ have trouble with for a while now. The flash, when it's down, he just kind of steps forward. When it's down, he just kind of steps forward in the lane, puts himself way too far up. Like, there's no vision to tell CosQ he's safe here. He's pushing the lane. Yes, the tower's there. He's trying to get back behind the tower, but puts himself between the tower and a hard place. Easy skill shot through and gets killed.
It's so free. I feel bad for CosQ. He's trying to escape. He knows he needs to get out there, but once you put yourself between the wall and the tower, that's a tiny little corridor that any skill shot can go into, and now CosQ is getting destroyed. Oh, God. Perkz, level 6, did use it. CosQ, not even going to get a chance to get some experience himself. Pushes up the lane as best he can. Perkz, laughing, moving forward, BMing.
This is painful. Real painful for CosQ, because he shoves his lane and then ends up with nothing to do. Obviously you want to try and get mid lane priority, you want to try and push the Orianna back, try and open up as much vision for Amazing as you can, but then if you don't respect the fact the enemy jungler can be around, then you kind of end up getting camped.
And you got to feel like he's playing a little bit cocky. Had a very safe matchup last time around, but as we kind of keep our eyes on CosQ, he was a huge factor in their performance against Mysterious Monkeys. It may make sense that Perkz wants to shut him down, or rather the performance against NIP. They are Mysterious Monkeys.
Yeah, you mentioned that the Ninjas in Pajamas performance, of course, very high KDA, one of his best performances we've seen. That's a staggering kill percentage, 38% just about, and up in CST was his best performance we've realistically seen from him. But then unfortunately, game 1 did not have a Stella LeBlanc performance, so he put out 17.2 thousand damage that game. Perkz put out 15.4 thousand damage as a Galio. LeBlanc normally averages over double damage per minute than a Galio normally would. And CosQ didn't do much. He just couldn't get any impact on the game. In team fights, in skirmishes, couldn't find damage output.
We'll have to see if the Taliyah is the answer to that, because that will be an issue as we move forward. We know what Perkz can do in the late game on the Orianna. We saw the fancy footwork at MSI. Now, he is, admittedly, in some ways, a shade of that same player, but still a threat you have to respect. And expecting Kikis going much more even as we move later. The early advantage for Kikis not paying off as Renekton has now hit that level 6.
And this is one thing I'm actually glad to see out of G2. Putting Perkz on a champion that he has been good for so long that there's no reason he should be struggling here. This isn't a rough matchup. This isn't particularly the time where Perkz is trying something different in the meta. This is exactly his bread and butter. Dominating a laning phase into it. This is exactly his bread and butter. Dominating a laning phase into a team fight.
Oh,
and
no.
suddenly,
coming forward, amazing. May just look for the ult. Not going to use it in the end. Perkz not going to get marked up, so no opportunity. And Perkz just so aggressive, even moves in to contest the Raptor camp. Kikis now backing off. Expect going in for the aggressive trade. Not afraid to tank the tower just to burn down some of the health of Kikis, and that's going to make the dive so much easier if he gets the chance.
He's got a whole game of sitting back as Galio, being like, okay, can I carry now? Can I carry now? Finally gets his hands on a champion where he can actually exert pressure in a laning phase. And suddenly, Cosq is getting really outclassed by Perkz. And I wish I could say this historically hasn't happened, but I had the fortune of casting Perkz back in Challenger when Cosq was there in the 2015 season, and this happened regularly. Whenever these two met, Perkz always had the advantage. And realistically, nothing has changed. I want to see more from Cosq. He, of course, needs more time on the LCS stage, but I just want to see Cosq tightening up a lot of the mistakes he makes in the lane.
A little bit too late, however, he's already put at a pretty decent deficit. 12 CS differential between them, but maybe he can make up for it by making a play on the bottom side.
Lane. Dreams is trying to go in.
Weaver's wall is going to happen. Potentially in trouble. There's one stack looking for 2, 3, even potentially Featherstorm comes out. That's Chain CC on Defend. They're trying to interrupt the play. Amazing has decent amount of damage. Flash out from Yuki. Suddenly Expect on the backside. That Renekton can do so much damage, but the stun coming in from the Braum even after the death is crucial. Cole the Meek. Yuki holding on. Amazing. Still looking for a bit of damage. Is now polymorphed up. He will just get taken down and Cosq. Oh no, this is disastrous. He's doing his best to hold on the worked ground. A master at kiting Taliyah, but
the dissonance, not
going to be enough. That's it. A long, slow goodbye for Cosq. 3 kills for G2 and a massive lead.
Yeah, Kikis didn't look like he completed his teleport. Now G2 brings Ven topside. That fight all starts from Mysterious Monkeys trying to group on the bottom side, but the execution went awry. Dreams flash Q's a minion instead of Sven under tower. And Sven inevitably ended up dying. A little bit of help from Brother Trick. Explosive Cask actually blasted Yuki into his AD carry to die.
Fair reference to use when he's playing well, but definitely solid from Trick thus far.
Sometimes you just got to try and get the meme in there. You just got to try learning from the best of them.
Why not?
Okay,
why not?
So watch Dreams for now. Oh, that's painful. That's actually really painful. Manages then to get the passive to proc, and from there Sven's able, or they at least take Sven out. Yuki ends up dying from this. It was a good ult in the end of all things. It wasn't necessarily Sven that needed to kill.
Keep your eyes on mid lane, because that's the Hextech ultimatum. Adaptive Defense comes out. Trick trying to buy a little bit of time. Amazing moving forward, going in, but no ultimate means Perkz just going to walk away unscathed. But 3 members committed means G2 is going to grab a tower in the meantime.
Draco, as you work with me, it should come as no surprise that memes are not my forte here.
Wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. That'll do.
A lot of wrestling.
Music's good.
All right.
But, you know, memes
Look, man,
not so
it's
much.
a new generation.
I'm too old.
Gotta keep up with what the kids want, Stress.
Yeah, well, Mysterious Monkeys, on the other hand, not able to keep up with G2 around the map for now, at least. Tower does get traded. First Tower Blood goes over to G2. Rift Herald started in their favor as well, trying to break that mid lane, you have to imagine.
Yeah, but almost a 2.5k gold deficit and what looks to be a completely uncontested Rift Herald makes it a little bit difficult to imagine Mysterious Monkeys getting anything back in this exchange. Very different shade of G2 this time around. Quick to punish the mistakes of the Mysterious Monkeys, and Perkz on this Orianna is just massive for the team.
And the problem now is without Rift Herald for Mysterious Monkeys, it's difficult to break that Orianna's tower. That's one of the biggest strengths of Rift Herald, is a champion that typically you struggle to break through. Now you don't have that option available. Mithy's the one with the Rift Herald. It wasn't given to Trick this time around. Now that
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, that may mean we see it in a different lane, mainly because look at how low that mid-tower health is already. So it's almost like throwing something when you don't necessarily need to.
And I love that you brought up like how difficult it is to take down a control mage's tower. And Talia definitely in that group can offer a ton of wave clear, but that tower is definitely at the point where if you summon Rift Herald, it will one-shot, charge it, take it down, no question. So maybe not the ideal use from G2, but CosQ can't really feel 100% safe there.
Yeah, and I actually think that CosQ, he's not safe in the lane as it was. He's only just hit level 9. Up until a couple of seconds ago, he was 2 levels down on Perks. Perks is going to be level 11 soon. Might just walk into lane, shockwave CosQ and say, okay, I'm just going to auto this tower down. I don't need Power of Evil's janky auto build on Orianna to be able to take a tower that's 200 health, but careful for Kiggis.
Oh, Perks, out comes the ultimate once again. CosQ just going to get knocked back by the shockwave. In comes Amazing. Perks got enough footwork to get out of this one.
What?
He's still alive! No! I cannot believe it. Perks, that was some of the cleanest movement on Orianna I have seen. Misses out getting marked by the Rek'Sai. No ult comes in.
Nagne might be Lord of the Pit, but Perks is Lord of the Dance with that footwork as he just dodged out 3 people completely, neutralizes Mysterious Monkey's attempt at a pick on mid lane to deny G2, and suddenly, once again, Perks starts styling on people in the mid lane.
And that means Kickers gives up TP and just watch it.
He holds everything for so long. He ghosts, moves back in the fight, is suddenly able to dodge out once, dodge out everything from the rest of this fight, and just walks away.
Opts to dodge the Prey Seeker and some of the threaded volley. Has enough foresight to do that. I'm going to give him the credit. And that's the difference between life and death, because that Prey Seeker hits that Rek'Sai ults and you drop. But Stress, I don't even see it. He still has flash, man.
Yeah, exactly. He just holds everything. He was safe for so much longer in that exchange. Trick coming and helping out, making sure. So we talked about how Rift Herald may not be the best use in mid lane. Well, you've only got 4 minutes to do it, so if it's going to expire, may as well throw it there, get that tower anyway. Otherwise, look, it was top lane in a long lane with no minion wave, wasn't pushed up. Same on the bottom lane. Difficult to actually make that work, so just get the tower.
And at the end of the day, 3K gold lead for G2. No more even games. No more going toe-to-toe in macro plays. Mysterious Monkeys are 1 step behind this time around, and G2 are not hesitating. Punish them. No,
not. But 1,000 of that gold lead is on Perks in that middle lane, up on CosQ alone. So that gives you an idea. We talked about how Orianna, you know, was going to be the late game insurance for G2. It was going to be that team fight, shockwave, everything's great late game. But I mean, when Perks gets kills at like 4 or 5 minutes in a game, suddenly that Orianna ends up scary even at this point.
Yeah, definitely early Morellonomicon finish Orianna is absolutely horrifying to play up against. Does not have the Stormraider Surge either. Has the Thunderlords, so the level advantage.
3v1 again.
Even
oh,
better.
it's 2 this time.
Perks. Mithy's here this time. Oh, Mysterious Monkeys. The definition of insanity, my friends, is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Does not work out for them.
But let's look at why they're trying the same thing over and over again, because Mysterious Monkeys, we've talked about them playing around topside. They aren't necessarily able to play around this Camille all that well, because without teleport advantage, they now need to bring somebody over. That somebody would normally be CosQ. CosQ would normally be the one to try and use that Weaver's Wall to get to that Camille alongside Amazing, but the fact that CosQ is so heavily pressured in lane, forced to stay in the middle lane, drags the rest of Mysterious Monkeys at the middle lane to relieve the pressure, but it's just not working.
And it's a rough spot to be. Smite comes out to secure that one, but we look. CS differentials, 15 in the bottom lane in favor of G2, 9 in the mid lane. You see the top lane as well. You can see the gold differences stacking up as well. 1,000 gold between CosQ and Perks, and a 600, 300. I can't do math. Don't know why I tried. Versus Sven and Yuki, that's not as important, but the 1,000, that's pretty big. Something that they have to respect and be careful of. Because Mysterious Monkeys, at this point, I think they just have to hold on. They need to farm up. They need more time. They need more items on their carries. Because you're just not in a good spot.
Yeah, that's fair. They need items specifically on Xayah as one of the picks here. Essence Reaver completed, obviously building further towards that later game. You have a lot of damage, not only through the Featherstorm, the autos that come out, but with that cooldown reduction, you get 2-3 stuns throughout the duration of a fight, and suddenly you end up taking out these high priority targets with the later game scaling. Problem is, G2, they have Lulu for shields, they have disengage coming from Gragas, they got the shockwave. If you catch that Xayah with the shockwave, she doesn't have that Featherstorm to avoid it. she can't survive through that much damage.
Good news is she does have the Feather Storm, so
Yep.
if Yuki is quick on the trigger. He saves it if he can afford to. Maybe an option, but CosQ.
Perks didn't even commit to that. Just hit R and autoed once.
Just the casual Orianna ults we see in pro play. I never understood it. In solo queue, you're like, I'm not killing this guy, I'm not ulting. But in pro play, people just throw that out for damage. They're like, I want to win this trade, and I'm going to do it.
Credit to CosQ, he actually didn't flash it. Which maybe is credit, but at the same time, it's like, well, you didn't waste flash on that, so next time you can flash that. Didn't end up dying, so...
And a little bit of the luck of the draw here for Mysterious Monkeys, because they're in no place to contest that Cloud Drake, but it is only a Cloud Drake, Ocean to follow up as well, so giving up Dragon Control in this game just not going to be quite as punishing as one might have expected.
At this point, I think CosQ is going to fall prey to something many people have issues with. He's got Wand Envy, he's got Morellonomicon and a Blasting Wand, looks across, there's a Needlessly Large Rod the other side, and that just doesn't feel good. Perks is just going to show off in that middle lane.
Definitely don't want to compare yourself at that point. And the other brutal thing is that Kick has just spent about 12 seconds doing a Raptor camp just to have more than half of it taken away, but expect they have strayed too far. Damage is coming in. Surprise pick on the top side for Mysterious Monkeys. Kickus has to be careful. Has to back out. Expect. Oh, he can just try to get another kill as well. The Fury is stacked up. Wait for the Cold of Meek. That is going to be so much healing, but expect flashing out to safety. Here comes Perk as well. Amazing ult is going to make sure that they get the kill, but G2 are still a step ahead.
Yeah, Perks was closing in, just able to deny Mysterious Monkeys anything more from that by pushing CosQ away from that middle lane. It buys more time for G2 in the bottom lane. Good 1v2 out from Expect to start this off. Kikis just did not have enough damage during that trade.
Or enough health.
Mithy's heading for CosQ here.
Oh, gonna get knocked back. A lot of damage from CosQ, but no one else there to follow up. CosQ now in trouble. Perks is hungry for blood. He does not care about that tower. In goes the cask. Trick says gimme, gimme, and he's gonna get it. Now G2 are set up to pressure this mid lane. Amazing, doing what he can to help hold on. Low health bars across the lineup of G2, but no pressure in the mid lane.
G2 still have the Ash Arrow. Like, they didn't use it in the majority of that exchange, so even one of their engage tools sticking around. Now this engage, it's because Kikis, he has his Triforce, he has the Hydra, or at least the Tiamat completed, so they're like, okay, we can take this Renekton, right? Unfortunately, a little bit too much on the tankiness with that Dominus running, gets some health back, is able to output enough damage in response, and there's the ultimate finally connecting from Amazing. But remember, G2 took the tower in the bottom lane in exchange for that. CosQ ends up falling prey once again.
Oh, the fight's going to keep happening, though, on the way. In the mid lane, Dreams now in trouble. Trick waiting on the outside, trying to find a way in. Random Ignite. Not going to do a whole lot, but the Fat Man is burning, and now he's looking for a way into the fight. That's the flash in. Expect now leaping forward as best he can. 4 stacks means he's going to be stunned up and taken out if they can get it, but they don't have the damage. Yuki with the Feather Storm flash to safety, but Sven is not concerned. No chance to make it out of that one. Weaver's Wall could lock Trick up under, but CosQ, it's just too little too late.
It's too close to the tower as well. It doesn't actually block them from taking the tower down, but now Mysterious Monkeys want to try and engage again. Kikis has his ultimate, but look, that's 5 members of G2. I don't think you want that.
Definitely not. Now Sven going to back off along with the rest of G2, but G2, 4K, almost 5K in the lead now, 21 minutes in. Last time it took a barren steal for them to find this sort of lead. This time around, they're getting it on their own merits.
And this is the type of composition I feel like G2 should try and play as much as they possibly can, especially next week at Rift Rivals, because we need them to look good. Look, you play around a safe bottom lane that can create advantages for themselves as well, can play defensive. You give Perks a standard mid laner. Don't give him a Galio. It's fine for other teams, but Perks loves to be this kind of carry in the middle lane, and then give Trick a jungler that can have emphasis. Look, they fire the Ash Arrow out early, force Mysterious Monkeys to fight them, and from there, G2 are able to just catch up in time very quickly. CosQ not reacting, maybe could have even used the wall to deny this follow-up from G2, but doesn't even come across to the fight for a very long time. Well played by Yuki to dodge out on the Shockwave with that Feather Storm, but realistically, he wasn't clearing enough damage, enough distance to get away from harm's reach, and suddenly he ends up falling anyway. Uses the ult, uses the flash, still ends up dying.
And the fight goes on so long, as you noted. The arrow's up again. We didn't see the start. We didn't even know they used it. But it just comes up again. Short cooldown, utility options, and engage for G2. And you do not want to be behind against this G2 composition, because they can start fights anywhere and everywhere. And yes, Renekton, Camille, maybe that's a matchup where they could potentially go even. But Yuki, CosQ cannot afford to be anywhere near Expect right now.
And this game has not been played around Kikis. There's been 2 or 3 attempts, perhaps, to get Kikis ahead. One of them backfired horribly with that 1 versus 2 against Expect. At least being able to trade 1 for 1 there was enough out of Expect. But Perkz has been dominating the mid lane, pulled in Mysterious Monkeys towards the mid lane. You can see the amount of damage he's dealt already. And that has meant Mysterious Monkey's game plan of playing on this side lane has broken apart.
Not the way that they wanted it to work out. CosQ and the Talia not working out for the team. Kikis this time around did not get the nice start when he got to bully out in the early lane. Trick, though, didn't pay attention. He lost that one all on his own to a certain degree. And G2, despite some small hiccups here and there, are in absolute control. But the Baron, something we have to keep our eyes on. TP available for Kikis. Yeah. This one getting lower and lower. No Callista this time around. Amazing. Even level with Trick. Weaver's Wall comes in, splitting up the team. Arrow going on to CosQ. And down he goes. That's going to be disaster, but they can still attempt to steal it away. That is the last remaining hope for Mysterious Monkeys. They cannot take this fight, but maybe they can take the Baron. Expect, amazing. They're waiting. They're holding on. Kikis is split pushing in the meantime. Sights set elsewhere. Mithy, they're trying to burn it down. He's knocking up. Flash over, gets the Wild Growth, denies amazing entrance into the pit, and that means G2 are going to secure it. Meanwhile, Kikis continues the pressure, but Expect is already there.
Yeah, he already got the recall through with the enhanced recall. Now it means G2 continue this chase. There's no safe spot for Dreams and Amazing to recall themselves. They're just burning summoners and abilities, but here comes Yuki.
Double daggers
into the fight.
Kikis on the backside. It is the 4v4 for now. Renekton nowhere nearby. But G2 just backing off, giving respect over Mysterious Monkeys. They have the advantage. No reason to give anything up here. And Baron's still 3 minutes strong.
I want to see what hit CosQ to start that off, because it was off the side of the screen. CosQ used his ult and suddenly disappeared. Mithy looked like he was caught and just ends up turning back around.
And our good friend, the Ward, near the blast cone there, probably showed G2 exactly what they wanted to see when that Talia ult came out.
If I had to try and CSI Perkz Shockwave, maybe that was one of the things. We'll end up seeing it in a replay, perhaps. But Mysterious Monkeys right now, they're now up against the Baron. Have to try and stabilize, but that's difficult. They got a mid lane matchup that is behind, that is a significant part of their wave clear. Suddenly not so reliable anymore. And their bottom lane doesn't have the same lead they got in the last game.
Unfortunately, you're just at the point where CosQ may not have enough damage to keep these Baron minions at bay. And really the potential, the constant threat for an engage. You have an insanely tanky frontline here on the side of G2. The Renekton, the Gragas ahead of their opponents and nigh impossible to kill on top of all the damage that Perkz can bring to the table, and Sven as well.
And we threw a lot of criticism towards Trick and Expect early on. At least in the setup that perhaps they weren't the more successful players, but this game has been a little bit more of what we expect out of them. Trick, as I say that. Goes into a 1v3, but look, the rest of the team is there as well.
Move forward, Perkz potentially in trouble. Keep your eyes on Yuki. Does he have enough damage? Featherstorm comes out, but he can't bring it back, and that means the fight is going to start to turn. Yuki's still going to grab the kill onto Perkz. That is massive for the squad overall. Expect, though, the terrifying frontliner. Can they keep it going? Arrow not going to connect. CosQ now in trouble. He's going to get taken down again. Trick on a killing spree. Still a 2-for-1 against the Mysterious Monkeys.
And that means G2 can continue to keep pushing. Hang on, Kikis tries to go aggressive.
Trying to lock down Mithy, no way to get out. Yuki gonna try to bring it back. There is the Blade Caller, bringing it in, and Expect may not have enough tankiness to survive this, because Amazing is pushing forward. Yuki, do you have the damage to take them all out? Amazing goes up. Amazing comes down and takes out the opposition. Mysterious Monkeys, that's a good trade.
We're starting to get to the point where Xayah does have more damage in these trades. You gotta respect the stun that comes through. The damage will be significant in order to take you down. And Sven wasn't in the tail end of that fight, so despite the fact that G2 looking a little bit sloppy, they still come out with an extended lead. They get a tower from it. They also got a couple of kills in the meantime, but just as we were praising Trick and Expect, it's actually Perkz that walks right into Dreams, and Yuki gets locked down. The stun lands. He survives for longer than you would expect him to. Doesn't really catch too much more damage in the rest of the fight before he's shut down, and then G2 decide they can still fight. They know they can get CosQ. There's no threat from him. Perhaps this is the overextension out of Expect and the rest of G2, because look, Sven calls he's going to the top side. You can see it on your minimap. It's Mithy and Expect. Mithy is easily killed here because no ult, no flash, no way to get out of the ultimatum. And then Yuki comes in to clean up the tail end of the fight. little bit messy, not the clean G2 that we want to see, but still, they have the lead. Expect run a style on people with a whole lot of damage.
Oh, wow. That is one powerful Renekton. Well, if you ignore him, if you let him just keep being in the middle of your team with that dominance, with that Cole the Meek, he is going to do damage. Now, normally we don't expect a Renekton to carry in those multi-man engages, but expect definitely well ahead of the competition, almost to that third item where, you know, Kikis has just finished that second. Now G2, no Baron buff backing him up. Mysterious Monkeys maybe a bit more comfortable to take the fight, but we have to praise Yuki. Excellent play in the last exchange. Out comes the Weaver's Wall. Amazing limited. Kikis on the backside.
This is composure. G2 did not call expect to the bottom lane yet.
Kikis flanking, just going to walk away. Both teams poised and ready for a fight, but neither one going to pull the trigger. Neither one looking for the engage here. G2 happy to just to keep the pressure up.
And that's a huge cooldown that was just used. G2 didn't get a significant Baron power play, heavily under the average. Of course, a lot of that was the fact that Mysterious Monkeys continued to try and fight them and didn't give up too many kills or towers in the duration.
Expect has the TP. Dream's doing what he can to protect the tower. Arrow goes wide.
Shockwave's in.
Shockwave, cause Q. Still alive. G2 just sieging up here. They don't need to take any massive risk. It doesn't look like they want to do it whatsoever. Kikis giving the respect over. Mysterious Monkeys doing what they can to hold on to the tier 2, but Sven not even concerned. And amazing and Cosq surf buddies, but I mean, not able to do anything. Just have to back off, just have to give this up. And Perks is fearless right now without a threat to him.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall is still down, which means Cosq can't get back into the fight fast enough if that had kicked off. But G2 say, okay, without the Baron buff, we don't have the pressure here in the bottom lane to continue pushing. There's nothing Mysterious Monkeys can really do to punish us when we recall now. So let's go back, buy up new items, make sure that we're stronger, and we'll look for another fight. Baron's coming up in 1 minute 20. If they can secure vision around that, it should be a clinical pick into a Baron for G2. The Ash Arrow will be there, the Shockwave will be there, Trick's ultimate as well. They should be able to maybe pick off Cosq once again. This has happened 5 times this game already.
And you have to be a little bit critical. Hello, Unicorns of Love. You are playing potentially after a 3rd game. Okay, Ramah. All right, man. We get it. You're flexible. Don't embarrass the rest of us, though. You know, not all of us can do that.
I think I'd have to take time off work if I tried to do that. I'd
no, that's definitely, yeah, that's if you got, you just get stuck like
There'd
that.
There'd be an ambulance.
Yeah, no.
Wow, he actually tried to do it. I don't know whether, like,
dress pants don't work. I
yeah.
can't wear pajamas to work. I'm so jealous. His job lets him wear pajamas.
Yeah, the old desk you could, like, sit at and you had shorts. That, you know, in summer that was fine. These ones, you end up standing.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors, folks.
And
from the waist down, butt naked.
See, that maybe I can do if I'm casting. You and I are kind of a similar height. I'm a little shorter than you, but you put me next to Medic, suddenly I need to stand on a box. There's all sorts of things.
You need to put anybody on a box standing next to Medic. Medic is a large human being.
Funny we could put Pirate next to my cast. I think that would be the...
That would be...
I think that would be the...
That would make me so happy. But not allowed. Too much hype. Not enough smarts.
Wow. Just saying it.
It's not my job. It's not my job.
That's fair.
You be smart, I be loud. We build a team. That's how it goes. Well, for now, Mountain Rick gonna get taken down. As we focus back in. 5K gold lead still for G2, definitely in control, but progress is slowed. Next Baron, G2 definitely in control, but progress is slowed. Next Baron will be the big catalyst if G2 want to continue to make plays, and they are in a position to get it started.
Oh, Amazing is out on his own up in the top side now. If Trick can cut him off. They did hawk shot up there. They know exactly where he is. Forced him to move with the arrow. I mean, they were just denying his recoil, and now they kill him.
Now he's in trouble. So, Amazing. There's really no chance left. Going to try to do some damage, maybe mitigate a little bit of something with the ult, but with the jungler taken down, that's going to be the easy setup on Baron.
I mean, look, the arrow may as well have hit. They got the kill anyway. They forced him to move, stop recalling. Now G2 going to go for the Baron. There's no smite steal attempt. Kikis is trying to take the tower underneath expect. He will get the tower, but loses the Baron.
Baron now taken down.
They're trying to rush mid lane.
You can hear Dreams calling out. Kikis, hookshot wall dive over the wall, has to flash. All right.
Kikis is like, I'm
blocked the Renekton, folks. May have had to burn flash, but the Weaver's Wall did block the Renekton. We call that worth. Okay, all right, so
So they got inhibitor tower, they got inner tower. It's a nice little influx of gold, which may allow them to get just strong enough to hold
Look,
the fight, but I'm not buying into
some
it.
small mechanical executions there at the end, for sure. But we can't, unless G2 actually get a greater advantage here with this Baron.
Yeah.
Mysterious Monkey's technically come out on top. Yeah, the gold is still heavily in the favor of
Sure.
G2. Baron does give you a decent amount, but that's an open inhibitor. That's an option.
It is.
Pushing in the future. Kikis is getting stronger, has the GA now, and opting for a bit more damage.
So now realistically, as long as Mysterious Monkeys play a safe setup here, if nobody gets picked that leads to an easy tower push that leads to Mysterious Monkeys losing their inhibitor, then, as you're saying, you can weather through this Baron buff, let it expire, and suddenly you do have that open inhibitor. It's going to be a game where they're playing around Kikis split push once again. I feel like we're going to have to get very accustomed to Kikis trying to win games through the side lane.
It's crazy, because when they played against Ninjas in Pajamas, that was all Prophet tried to do. Kikis was the one
true.
moving with the team, and now that they beat Ninjas in Pajamas, it's like they absorbed their style. Now it's all about Kikis off on his own.
Unicorns in pajamas.
Oh.
See, we got ninjas in pajamas, unicorns in pajamas. Oh, Romania, smart man. That's branding 101 right there.
All right,
that took me
all
a
right.
while. He is smarter than all of us.
Hashtag spoilers. Come on,
Sorry,
man. We're
sorry.
supposed to say that one for next series, and unfortunately, for the Mysterious Monkeys, G2 don't look like they want to waste any time getting there. Looking to secure the 2-0, completely uncontested on that tower take. And now they can just walk right into the mid lane. They have the Baron empowered creep wave.
Kikis is pushing like the bot lane as well.
Does manage to get an inhibitor. They need to hold on here. Trick goes in for a bit of an engage. Featherstorm Trick goes in for a bit of an engage. Featherstorm comes out. Now going in for the follow-up here on the side. Perks is in trouble. Keep your eyes on the team. Where are they going to go next? Kikis is running for his life. You can see it in the little picture on the corner of your screen. Uses the Hextech Ultimatum. Tries to buy a bit of time.
GA.
I don't think he has enough health to survive that.
No.
Leap out, hookshot, wall dive. That's mobility.
Yep.
Running. Tack sweep. Nice sidestep I expect. Oh.
Sven's still chasing. Kikis is going. Kikis is like, okay, I may
Mission
have...
impossible, folks! Mission impossible! Play the music. Dun, 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 dun.
No. See, Kikis in his mind had Mission Impossible 1. Unfortunately, we just watched Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
good.
that was... Whew, not
In
good.
honor of Quickshot, sombrero. He got sombreroed. That's his favorite buzzword of the week, so we'll throw it in there. But stress. All right, guys, I'm going to keep saying this, and I know it. G2 slated to win. G2, massive lead. But it was one inhibitor to one inhibitor. That was technically an even trade.
That's the stupid thing, is it is an even trade. The Baron buff will expire, so credit where it's due. I keep canning Mysterious Monkeys out. I'm like, G2, they've got the advantageous trade, everything's great. And Mysterious Monkeys, with this Xayah, have a good amount of damage.
I mean, Kikis in theory does outscale.
Yeah,
although
he
Renekton
does.
has been coming out on top of a lot of the trades, probably because he had to take a ton of damage to get that. Yuki does in theory outscale the Ashe, difficult to execute. But we'll have to see if it's enough, because Sven, a fearless frontliner right now. So many items under his belt.
Q's trying to line up the wall again. Maybe.
Not going to get it. Tower drops. Gold lead extends. 8K in the favor of G2. Elder Drake up in 1 minute and 17 seconds. I feel like that will be a massive boon for G2 if they can secure it. They are in position to do so.
Surely G2.
It's going to take another Baron.
Right.
It's going to take another Baron.
How many times did that actually happen? Like, historically, G2 were the kind of team where it was one Baron and the game's done. Like, looking through Spring Split, they were exceptionally good at getting one Baron and closing the game out quite quick. They did slow down, but typically, as soon as they had that advantage, everything was clear. And this time, Mysterious Monkeys, they fought them to even trades after 2 Baron attempts already. Elder Drake is coming up. You mentioned it already. 35 seconds to go. G2 would have 2 amplified if they get it, but look, Mysterious Monkeys also traded evenly on the Dragons as well.
And it's not like G2 shouldn't already win these fights.
Right.
They have an Orianna. Look at that Orianna.
Yeah.
There is no Zhonya's there. Perks is not concerned about taking damage. Perks is here to kill people. He's got everything he wants to do it, too. Sven in a similar boat. The closest thing to a defensive item this man has is a Blade of the Rune King movement speed steroid and a Phantom Dancer.
I was going to say, Phantom Dance is a good one on that one.
And
but
Ninja Tabby too.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
none of these are major items. And now, G2.
Amazing.
Koski dishing out damage over the wall.
And you look at it, this Orianna very strong, 7 kills, but what has happened multiple times is that Featherstorm has come out on the shockwave animation, dodged out, and realistically, that drops so much of that value that Perkz should have in a team fight if Yuki can do it, but that is a very big if. Here comes the teleport. Kigis trying to fight back here from Mysterious Monkeys.
Weaver's Wall isolating Orianna out of the fight. She is not there, but the Dragon reset. Expect now potentially in trouble. Knocked back from the team. Yuki needs to leap back in if he wants to dish out the damage. Suddenly they're isolated on the side. Kigis buys what time he can, but there is no GA to keep him up and alive. Going back, looking for a little bit more trick on the front lines. 3 members left on the side of Mysterious Monkeys, but it's the holdout. They've already lost 2. G2 coming up on top of the trade. Can they get anything else?
But look at how low G2 are at the same time. They now want to try and go back in. Hang on.
It reset again!
The teleport's coming through, though, but from behind. Expect wants to close in on Mysterious Monkeys.
Oh, no. Koski in trouble. Perkz hungry for blood. Yuki, no Featherstorm left. He's going to get taken down. Expect a man on a mission to clean this one up. Mysterious Monkeys caught between the walls, caved in on their own jungle, and amazing. He's still going to try to take it away. Can he get it? Yes! He's got it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He gets it in the end. We give a brief golf clap for amazing, but a big fat round of applause for the side of G2. It may not have been the cleanest series of their life. But with one final team fight, with one final flanking teleport, they are set to take this one out. Perkz?
He doesn't want to participate.
He's playing with his food a little bit here.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, it's not enough that the Mysterious Monkeys will turn it back around.
2-0. G2 take it in the end. May not have been clean, but it's the wins that count. And G2 are going to close it out.
That was what we wanted to see for the first 20 minutes of this game from G2. A lot cleaner. Yes, it was stalled out, but look, they punished that mid lane super hard. Got Perkz ahead, were able to take the team fights later on, and despite all the efforts from Yuki and the rest of the Mysterious Monkeys, Kigis on that side lane trying, Key and the rest of the Mysterious Monkeys, Kigis on that side lane trying, G2 just too strong.
Yuki and Dreams especially stepping up in so many of those team fights. Kigis on the flanks and the split pushing, amazing. But Koski feels like just put a little bit too far down there in the early game. It was a rough path for him and the Mysterious Monkeys, but we're seeing improvement for this team. We would not have said even for a moment in week 1 that they could contest G2, but they took them late in both games. Small mistakes counting against them in these team fights, in these high pressure scenarios, but still happy to see it. And for G2, may not be back to top team status yet, but this is a first step on the road there.
Yeah, so much of a what if on that rend from game 1, at least when you look at the series score overall, but at the end of game 2, you'd never have thought, looking at all of the stat lines, the Mysterious Monkeys had put up a big challenge, but they did. G2 able to move past Mysterious Monkeys. It's an expected win for them. Looked a little bit cleaner than the last couple of weeks, I think, is the key thing for G2 here. They're starting to build towards the end of the split, but their next focus turns to international competition with Rift Rivals next week. They got to face off against TSM, C9, and Phoenix 1.
All I'm saying is, Perkz got to play a lot of interesting mid laners.
Yeah.
Ryu, Jensen, Bjergsen. Please don't make him play Galio. Now, I get it. It can work in a composition. You can find the wins, and if that's what it takes to win G2, you do it, but please just let him outplay somebody. Because we saw it here against Koski.
Yeah, we did. And you know, I think that when you look at the pack there, you have to expect Perkz to be able to deal with Ryu in the middle lane right now, P1, not exactly looking on form. You have to expect G2 will look better against that kind of team. But this G2, you look against a TSM, a C9. I don't mean disrespect by that.
They are at the bottom.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And considering the Mysterious Monkeys were as well, where I was leading with this is TSM don't seem like a sure bet for G2. C9 don't seem like a sure bet for G2. And considering that G2's last international competition was a close series against SK Telecom, that is quite the fall, unfortunately, from 3-time world champions to being like, I don't know whether you can take down some teams that aren't doing great right now.
And admittedly, in the past, we have been skeptical, right? We looked at the first few weeks, we're like, G2, they're adjusting. They're coming back. We're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. After their loss to the Unicorns, we're like, all right, G2 are officially in a slump. This is not recovering. But by finding a win here, it feels like they are now on a road to come back. And now I'm really excited to actually see not only how they do against the NA teams, but also once we come back to cross-group playoffs, they do against the other top teams in Group B.
Yeah, and then I'm also looking forward to, at the end of back into regular group play, Fnatic again. Because Fnatic are looking so strong. G2, tough game.
Potentially I mean, I don't want to say finals preview because Unicorns Love are looking really good, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to pick finals candidates right now. And it's kind of crazy to see exactly like what has changed from G2 from game to game here. In game one, I felt like we saw the same G2 we've seen in the last few weeks. We saw Perks on the Galio in the mid lane, really relying on Sven in the late game to carry those fights, Trick on the Kazakh. But I really liked the game two draft because they changed up so much. I thought for sure, 100%, no doubt they would pick the Kazakhs, no hesitation. I thought it was the comfort pick for Trick, but Trick on a champion that, you know, we haven't seen him on in a long time, still showing up, still making big marks.
And I think the one pick that makes the most sense for me went to our player of the series in the middle lane of Perks, getting that Orianna. It's been such a stable pick for him. Great performance. Really destroyed KazQ pretty much the entire game long.
Yeah, I think we can safely say it went even in the mid lane. Then maybe KazQ came back and said, hey, I went even on the Galio. Not the case in the Orianna-Talia matchup. Perks absolutely destroying the competition. Little help from the jungler there in the early game, but after that, Perks just did not give that man a break. He was lucky to get any experience in that lane. It was pretty brutal to watch, if we're honest.
And that's what we wanted to see. We saw a couple of weeks of the Lucian where we were like, don't really know how G2 playing on the side lane push, but put him back on Orianna, and he looked great.
It definitely worked out for him. Well, G2 got the win here in our first matchup of the day. Let's see what their support has to say after that series.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined here by Mithy. Congratulations on the 2-0. The very last play were amazing, stole the Elder Dragon. It set you off in huge laughter, really enjoying it. Tell me about the series. It felt like G2 was in control the whole time, despite taking a little longer than usual to win.
I think Mysterious Monkeys had good early game focused drafts, and we struggled really hard to get out of them, especially on the first game. I think their bot lane played the best Res Kalista we have played against in a long time. So we were not really used to getting... Yeah.
That's a lot of praise, actually, for Yuki in the bottom lane, one of the guys we've been looking at on the Mysterious Monkeys. You ended up winning. Let's step back and look at the first 5 weeks so far. 3 wins, 3 series losses. Obviously, starting with the subs, starting with Trick and Expect going to Korea. Why is it G2 sucked for so long, and now you've picked up a clean win?
Well, maybe we still suck, but answering your question, I think we just needed time. We are a team that we like to figure out things and just play the standard meta, but we don't even know the standard meta, so we're just going in and not knowing what we're doing. And these other teams in EU LCS, they come in with styles, they know the meta, and they adapt it to their style, and we're just sitting there, we don't even know how they play because we forgot, or we just don't have the grasp of anything, and yeah, we just get stomped. But even then, even though we lost some games, we actually took a game of everyone we lost to, so yeah.
I'm being a little harsh. Saying you sucked isn't entirely fair. But expectations were much higher. At least from a broadcast team, we had anticipated week 3, week 4. You guys wouldn't have lost the series that you did. And it kind of feels like that baseline level for G2 has reset. Does it feel like you guys have to go even further back, before MSI, before Spring, before last split, in terms of how you relearn the game and relearn how to play with one another?
No, not at all. It's going to take a little bit more time. We have a lot of time. We have until playoffs, so we're not really worried. I mean, we already lost the first place, right? So it's not up to us anymore. We just have to do the best we can, just be as effective as we can. And even though these teams started practicing 2 months before us, basically, we will catch up to them and we will win against everyone.
I think that's the best thing to admit, is the time difference, of course, playing in MSI, very difficult. One more question on EU LCS before I look towards Rift Rivals. Perks and Deficio had some pretty strong words on the analyst desk about how after Rift Rivals, Perks made a wager that G2 would not drop a single game. Number 1, do you think that's possible? And number 2, if it's true, where does G2 rank against the other EU squads?
Before this week, we have had 2 days off every week. We had just been taking things slowly and steadily because it's just the start of the LCS. And now for Rift Rivals and this week, we are basically having no break. So we're just going to, quote unquote, boot camp for 15 days. So after that, I'm hoping too that we come in strong. I don't know if we're going to do what Luca said, but I still think that we're going to be a much better version of G2. And I mean, I think stacking up against the other teams and losing some games is funny because it creates some hype and stuff. But at the end of the day, we're gonna go to playoffs and we're gonna win against everyone. So it's just gonna be sad for the other teams because they're gonna feel like they can win.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Mithy. We're gonna be quoting that later in the split, but you still didn't answer my question. Where does G2 rank with the other top-tier EU LCS teams?
I'm gonna quote Trashy and say we're not even top 4, and we will see.
Okay, so in one breath, you're going to beat them at some point, but you're not there yet. I've got 1 or 2 last questions about Rift Rivals. Next week, you'll be playing Team Solo Mid, Cloud9, and Phoenix One. What sort of mindset is Mythy and G2 going into this tournament with?
Well, okay, so the tournament is in a new patch. It's best of ones, so it's most likely going to be a clown fiesta for every team. But I do think that Fnatic is going to stomp everyone, and there's going to be no hope for an LCS playing against Fnatic. If that's not the case, then we will be there and we will put up a good fight against everyone because we play a more standard game. So we will probably be able to match them in their style because they try to copy Koreans, so do we. But I will be surprised if the NLCS teams get more than 2 games against Unicorns and Fnatic.
Very exciting. We'll see how many games they take off you. Best of ones, G2, not a lot great history.
Yeah, that's tough.
Which of the 3 teams are you most excited to play against is my last question.
I've been playing TSM for a very long time in my career, so it's always funny to play them. Yeah, I think it's always a fun experience to play TSM. And I'm also excited to play against Xpecial because a very long time ago when I played against him in TSM, he destroyed me, and I learned a lot from him. I basically learned something that I actually pulled in this game, which was when I started playing, I only focused on winning my lane and like just doing the best I can, getting the biggest CS lead and everything. And even when I had good matchups. And this game we had a good matchup bot lane, and we knew what could happen in the game if we tried to play aggressive. So we decided to take a good matchup and make it equal and just farm. So that's something that I actually learned from Xpecial in Season 3. And it's just things like that, you know, you learn from other players. So I'm just excited to play against him because I looked up to him for a long time.
Very excited. Grandpa Xpecial versus Grandpa Mythy next week in Rift Rivals. We'll see if you can do EU proud. Congratulations on the win again, Mythy. That does it for us here in the series. When we come back from the break, Unicorns of Love take on the Ninjas of Pajamas.